some people in here. So this is my first time doing a live stream. So I've already recorded the intro. I just figured I would give this a shot and record a little something. So today I'm talking about how to actually taste whiskey and different ways to do that. Basically the proper technique and all that stuff. Basically pretending like I know what I'm talking about. All right, so don't mind me. I won't be able to really see any of your chats, but I appreciate you guys coming on and watching, and I hope this isn't overly boring. I'll try not to, whatever. Hope this isn't overly boring. All right. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is, all right, 3, 2, 1, go. So if you didn't watch my video on nosing last month, you may want to go do that because I'm going to be referencing that probably a couple times during this video. But let's go into the technique of actually how you taste whiskey. Now, the first thing you want to do is get yourself a glass. So I have a Glencairn, obviously, and you can get them with or without a stem. But in general, you can use whatever you want. Now, after that, you want to get a whiskey that is a little bit more complex, something with a lot of different flavors that you can actually pick out. So that's why I'm sticking with the Maker's Mark once again. I know it's getting probably a little redundant at this point, but this is actually a pretty complex whiskey. The first time you sip it, you're going to be picking up a lot of different little things. So after you've picked out your whiskey in your glass, next thing you want to do is nose it. Now, as I mentioned, if you need some advice on nosing, go check out my other video. I'll put a link down in the description. So swirl it around a little bit just to bring out the aroma, and then nose it. So the nose should tell you what you're expecting to taste. Basically, you're going to want to try to pick some stuff out, and it will just let you know what you're going to taste. Now, you can also kind of prove yourself right or wrong, basically determine how good you can nose. After that, you're going to want to take a sip. Now, the way to take a sip of whiskey is actually kind of like goofy, right? It looks a little weird. So if you're going to do it in front of other people, practice it first, otherwise you're going to look kind of like a spaz. So basically, you want to kind of make like an O with your mouth, and then stick your tongue out just a little bit and breathe in over the whiskey. You want the air to travel over the whiskey, and what this does is actually makes your taste buds kind of like liven up a little bit. So I'll show you what that looks like. But if you do it right, it really just sounds almost like you're taking a deep breath. So cheers. All right, after you've taken your sip, you want to kind of let the whiskey just roll over your tongue. Now, there's different areas of your tongue, and different areas will pick up different flavors. And if you can really get that down, you'll almost know where to use your tongue. So one of my previous videos, I said that like the back of your tongue will kind of like almost dry up, and it made a very powerful flavor. So that's something that whiskey can do. And that's usually like the tannins that will actually dry your tongue a little bit. All right, after you've taken your sip and you've kind of swished it around your mouth just a little bit, try to identify the flavors. Now, don't just think, I taste whiskey, I taste vanilla, I taste oak, I taste whatever. Try to think of like, almost like a grade, okay, you taste vanilla. What does that mean? Do you taste like vanilla pudding? Do you taste vanilla extract? There's a huge range there. There's the same thing for oak, like, are you licking a piece of wood? Are you just kind of smelling it? Like, there's a big range. Now, really try to focus in on that, and that will be part of your flavor profile. After that, kind of take a couple of sips. And one thing to keep in mind is that you are drinking alcohol. You're going to start losing your flavor profile very quickly, probably after like 2 or 3 sips, at least as far as the subtleties go. So really concentrate during those first couple sips. All right, so let's talk about a couple ways to improve. Basically, you want to drink a lot of whiskey, and that is probably one of the best ways to improve. It's practice makes perfect. It's pretty much true for everything. But there's a couple of other little things that you can do. Expand yourself, So I've got Scotch, I've got rye, I've got Canadian whiskey, I've got bourbon here, and I don't have any Japanese whiskey at the moment, but whiskey comes from all over the world, and they all taste totally different. So really keep that in mind when you're trying different whiskeys. You might taste pear in the whiskey, but you might taste corn in another one. That's a pretty dramatic difference. So expand your horizons. Outside of that, watch reviews, like not just my channel, find other reviews. Find a review on some whiskey that you love, and if I don't have one, tell me what whiskey you love, and I'll try to do a review on it. But watch other people, see what they taste. See if you can pick up the same thing. just be a little aware that they might influence your flavor. So the other thing I would suggest is to drink with other people. You know, if you and your couple friends want to have some whiskey, if you really want to do things right, you know, it might feel a little silly, but if you make a thing out of it, it could be fun. Pour a dram for each one of you, write down what you taste, and then compare notes. That way you don't influence each other's flavor, and you can really kind of maybe learn something. Like maybe this guy did taste pear, maybe this guy tasted something else, and also all of a sudden you realize, oh yeah, that totally was, you know, vanilla, whatever. So that's pretty much the best way to improve yourself as far as drinking whiskey. And actually that pretty much finishes out how you taste whiskey. So thank you for joining me here on the Whiskey Dictionary, and I look forward to talking to you next time. Have an awesome rest of your day. Thanks. All right, so I don't know. Usually I do a couple of takes. That one went okay. I felt a little all over the place. I don't know, maybe I need a couple drinks first. But that's pretty much it. So let me see. Are there any comments on this thing? Hey, there we go. Let's see. I've never done one of these before, obviously. So let's see. All live chat messages. How long do you swish it around for? Swishing it around like a lot really isn't going to make a huge difference. What you really want to do is kind of make it go over your tongue. Oh yeah, you know, I didn't even think about the fact that I have the microphone plugged into my camera, not into my phone. So if it was hard to hear me, I apologize. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna have to get myself a microphone for the next time. Hopefully, okay, you guys can hear me fine. I mean, I was talking kind of soft because my kids are sleeping upstairs, but you know, next time I'll try to get some sort of external mic for this thing. I have a couple laying around. All right, I'm gonna record a couple more episodes. I guess I'll just leave this thing running. If you guys want to watch it, then that's great. Otherwise, you know, thank you for tuning in. I'm just more testing out this live stream thing because what I'd like to do is do kind of like a first impressions of some new whiskeys that I buy. So if I get a new whiskey, you know, I'll kind of hop on here and try it and let you guys know what I think. So yeah, I'm gonna record another episode just because I'm not confident in how that one went. I think it was okay, probably worth putting up, but I want to do another one. Tongue map was debugged. You know, I thought about that. All right, yeah. So maybe I'll do another take and I won't mention that. I thought I remembered that being debunked too, but I wasn't sure. So, all right, let's see. What does this button do? Bubbles. Really, that's so ridiculous. All right, I'm gonna do another one. Sorry. There you go. That's my big old light. Actually, you know what? I might as well give you guys some real content. So I've got a light here, I've got another light here, and then this is my camera setup here. As you can see, when I do longer videos, I have notes here. As you guys know, I do a lot of these things kind of like in one take or a couple of takes, depending on the different you know, categories. If you want to think about it that way, like the distillery and then the whiskey and then the tasting and nosing. All right, so I'm going to go hit the button. I'll be right back. All right. Got to give myself a drink every now and then too. All right, cool. Just reading more notes over here. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so the first thing I want to mention is that if you didn't check out my nosing video last month, all right. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so the first thing I want to mention is that if you didn't check out my nosing video last month, you might want to go do that because I'll reference it a couple of times during this video. So I'll put a link down in the description. So let's go into the technique of how to actually taste whiskey. So the first thing you'll want to do is get a glass. And you know, you can go with Glencairn, you could go with Glencairn with a stem, or you can do anything you want. It really doesn't matter. The nose is what the Glencairn's great for, tasting. You can kind of do it out of anything. So I'm going to stick with Maker's Mark. It's probably getting a little redundant at this point, but this whiskey is good for this kind of video because it's complex. It's got multiple different flavors going on and they're easy to pick out. So I'm going to stick with the maker's mark. Now, something to know is you're only going to get a couple of chances to really identify the flavor profile of your whiskey, because since it's alcohol, you're going to start numbing your taste buds. So keep that in mind. If you really want to do a flavor profile, start fresh. Don't have a couple beers first or something like that. So the first thing you want to do is nose your whiskey. So swirl it around a little bit to get some of those aromas out, and then nose it. Now, what your nose is going to tell you is what kind of flavors you can expect to taste. Now, the nose is almost always going to be more prominent than your taste buds are going to taste. So it's something to keep in mind. You might smell a really faint hint of cherry in there, and you might have no impression of it on your tongue. So the one good thing to know is that they should line up pretty good. So you can kind of check yourself against your nose versus your palate. It's kind of interesting. All right, next you'll want to sip it. Now, the way that you sip this is actually a little weird. It's going to look a little funny to anybody who is watching you. So maybe try it at home first, but you're going to kind of want to make like an O with your mouth and stick your tongue out just a little bit, and then breathe in over the whiskey. Now, the air going over your tongue is actually going to kind of liven up your taste buds a little bit, and that's the proper way to taste. If you do it right, it'll just sound like you're inhaling a little deeply, but if you do it wrong, you're going to look kind of weird. So let me show you what that looks like. Cheers. So you're going to want to let the whiskey kind of go over your tongue. Now, you're gonna probably pick up some different flavors as it goes over your tongue, but as far as swishing it around in your mouth, that's really not going to do much. You don't really have any taste buds like on the insides of your cheeks and stuff, so keep it mostly on your tongue. But think about what you can taste. Now, there's going to be multiple different flavors going on, so you might want to do a couple of sips, but don't just think like, oh, I taste vanilla, or oh, I taste oak, or oh, I taste corn. Try to think of to what degree you're tasting that. Now, your vanilla could be anything from like vanilla pudding to vanilla extract. There's pretty wide range there. So keep that in mind and really try to focus on that. I'm going to actually put a picture up here. I have a flavor profile map that you can use. They're all over the internet. You can find them. So if you ever want to do this with some friends, print off a couple of these. But as you'll see, there's different degrees of the different kinds of flavors that you can pick up, and generally you kind of map them out. All right, after you've identified what you can taste, you'll want to kind of work on that, and the only way to do that is really by trying more whiskey. So it's a terrible thing, I'm sure, but practice makes perfect. So you'll want to try whiskeys from all over the world. You've got everything from Scotch, Canadian, rye, bourbons, Japanese whiskey. It's even whiskey from like New Zealand and Australia. So find some of these whiskeys and try them from all over the world. First off, you're probably going to find something that you love that you've never tried before. But more importantly, whiskeys can taste completely different made in different areas of the world. So that's something to try. Another thing to try would be watching reviews. Obviously if you're watching this channel, there's a good chance that you like watching whiskey reviews. So that can help you to identify things that you might not think to, or have experience enough to taste. Just be careful that it doesn't influence what you think you're tasting, So on that note, if you try it with friends, you could have the same problem. So it might feel a little weird or might seem a little strange, but if you have a couple friends together, pour a dram for each one of you, and get a piece of paper and write down what you taste, and then compare notes. You might learn something new about the whiskey that you love. Maybe, who knows, maybe Maker's Mark has something in it that I just totally don't even taste, even though clearly I'm almost done with the bottle. So anyway, that about does it for how to taste whiskey. I hope that this video has been informative to you, and if you are enjoying this, then please check out some of my other videos. So thank you for joining me here on the Whiskey Dictionary, and I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. All right, that one was a lot better. So, and Eric, thank you. I totally left out the bit. That is rocket. All right, hold on. Tongue map. All right, how are you doing? Oh, thanks, Mark. What does it say about my taste buds when I like a certain brand or age when I see or read? I'm not sure. That is rock gut. Okay. Well, if you like rock gut, good for you. You're going to spend a heck of a lot less money than I will. All right. I'm going to get to editing this video because I like to put them out on the 15th, and I'm cutting it pretty close this time. But all right, let's see. The Dalmore 12 has been my favorite for a while now. I've tried Maker's Mark here and there, but it seems like it's so sweet. Are all bourbons like that? Bourbons are generally going to be pretty sweet. In order to be a bourbon, you got to be about 51% corn, which corn in general is going to make for a sweet whiskey. Do I like monkey shoulder? I mean, honestly, it's not the best thing in the world. It's okay. I'd give it like, I don't usually do ratings or anything like that. I just find them to be completely arbitrary because whatever whiskey I'm drinking that day tends to be my favorite whiskey. So, but I would give monkey shoulder like a solid like 5.5 out of 10. It's just there. I don't know. It's not something I'd probably buy again. Drinking Woodford Reserve right now. Awesome seeing you live all of a sudden. Must be fate. Huh. Oh, I don't have... All right, hold on. You know what? I'm going to take this guy off here. Let me show you guys my bar, because I've got a lot of whiskey in here that you probably haven't seen. So this is my bar. Let's check this out. So this thing opens up. Got all kinds of stuff. I'm trying to show you this. Actually, I think I can switch this around. Hold on. There we go. All right, so I've got all kinds of stuff going on in here. And actually, this top is really cool because it slides over and then flips open, and it becomes like a full-on bar. But I have a bottle of Woodford right here that actually my kids gave me, or my wife gave me and put my kids' names on it. But it's pretty cool. So yeah, I love Woodford. It's good stuff. All right. So I'm sure you guys don't want to see me just like walking around my house pointing at things. Guess I'm making one of those. Did you watch the Modern Rogue whiskey learning videos? No, I've never heard of that Modern Rogue. Is it popular, or is it something I probably should have heard of? Well, I do have an amazing wife, Mark. Thanks. And she would be happy to hear you say that. Yeah, actually, I do like... what was the question? I'm sorry, I had an answer. Oh yeah, I like beer. I drink a lot of beers. Beers are cool. You know what? I think bourbon barrel beer is probably one of my favorite things ever. But in general, yeah, I like drinking beer. It's good stuff. I actually don't drink whiskey most nights. I will have a beer if I'm having something on a normal night. I save the whiskey for either, if I need it, or like special occasions or recording videos. Actually, that's not entirely true. I probably have a couple times a week. So, actually, I'm curious, since I have a few people on here, what kind of whiskeys do you guys like? What should I do episodes on that I haven't done before? I'll have to check them out. Yeah, I wish I could do more Dalmore. Yeah, I should do Dalmore. Tullamore Dew as well. I should do that one as well. Somebody requested that a couple weeks ago. Glenlivet 12. I got a bottle of that in my bar there. Actually, that's on the short list. So actually, since you guys are all on here, why don't I 25 McKellum? Yeah, sure. You want to buy it for me? So I've got some Whistle Pig here. This is coming up pretty soon. Crown Royal. I'm mostly just going to do because I think that's probably going to get me a lot of views on the channel. I don't expect it's going to be very good. I mean, I've had it a couple times. I don't remember much about it. Have you done many Islay Scotches? I haven't. Oh man, I've been dying to do Lafroig. I love Lafroig. It's so interesting compared to a lot of the other whiskeys that you have. But Islay was actually one of the first whiskeys I ever tried after. So I think Johnny Walker Black Label was probably the first. Nope, that's not true. I had a Wild Turkey when I was 18 on a cruise ship. But then I had Black Label, and then I actually had a. Man, I don't even know what it was. It was in some sort of green bottle. It wasn't Lagavulin, or actually, it didn't even have a label on it. Like, it may have just been something the dude picked up in Ireland. But anyway, sorry, Scotland. Hey, what's going on, Dustin? Glad you can make it. Anyway, Lord Calvert. It's Canadian. All right. Just bought Black Grouse today. Going to try some in a bit. Best scotch I could afford this day. Is it okay? Never tried it. I've heard of it, Black Grouse. I don't know if me hearing about it is a good thing or bad thing. Thanks, Isaac. I thought Lagavulin tasted like paint thinner the first time I tasted it, but then I drank the whole glass and craved it for... Yep, I can relate to that. Actually, the first time I tried Lagavulin, I was shocked that a whiskey could taste that smoky. It's a thing of beauty. Anyway, so what else do you guys want me to try? Oh, you know what's coming up next time? Actually, so my next video is going to be on Compass Box Oak Cross. Yeah, I did actually. Gentleman Jack was my very first video. I did Jack number 7 and Gentleman Jack. It was a crazy experience. That's great. Yeah, so anyway, Compass Box Oak Cross is going to be my next one. Try Alberta Premium Rye. How about Four Roses Single Barrel. I don't know how I keep overlooking that one. I honestly, I just need to like go out and buy it tomorrow. That's so overdue. I should almost do just like a special episode on it. Yeah, doing that, actually I had a day off this week, which is why I did that extra episode on the Maker's Mark 46. I think it's French, actually. Hold on. Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. Oh, I did that one, actually. Woodford Reserve Double Oak. It was probably episode like 10 or 13, somewhere in there. I did the rye directly after that. So I'm opening up my bar here to grab Oak Cross. So let me just close that. All right. Gibson's Finest Rare 12 year. Evan Williams Black Label. It's a very common brand that's affordable. Love to hear your opinion of it. Yeah, actually, Evan Williams. I don't remember if it was Black Label that I used to drink, but a long time ago in like my early 20s. Sorry for all this other noise here. I'm just opening the box. All right, there we go. So back in my early 20s, when it was kind of like, I wanted to buy some whiskey, but I was early 20s, didn't have a ton of money. I used to buy Jack until I couldn't, and then I started buying Evan Williams. And I will say, Evan Williams is like the only whiskey that has given me an undeserved hangover. So I don't really remember what it tastes like, but I might have a bit of a biased against it. But anyway, so this is the Oak Cross here. So it says blended malt Scotch whiskey, American and French oak barrels. So I think it's going to be probably both of those. I'm not sure if it's got like staves. Oh, it does. It's a blend, so it's going to be, regular oak, American white oak, and then some French oak. So that actually will be pretty awesome. Well, it says I have a poor connection. I hope I'm coming across pretty good. Anyway, all right. So thank you guys for doing this little experiment with me. I think I'll probably end up doing this when I record some new episodes. On behalf of everyone, thank you for inviting. Thanks, Mark. I really appreciate that. Works fine getting chubby, but I could still. All right. So anyway, like I said, I'm gonna hook up a mic to this the next time that I do this, because it would be nice for you guys to be able to hear me at least a little better, or at the very least, even if you can hear me, it'll be a lot clearer. I'll also probably learn to look at the camera on my phone instead of looking over here like an idiot. But thank you guys all for the support. I appreciate it, and have a great rest of your night. Try to hit rapid aging. Wow. All right, yeah, you guys have definitely convinced me to do more. You're clearly very nice people, so thanks. Have a great night. Bye.